What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And we have a lot of breaking news going on right now. The stock market is crashing. We have a new impeachment or impeachment attempt from Nancy Pelosi on Donald Trump. We have new stimulus news. We have a lot to talk about in this video. I'm going to get you up to speed right away. But first, don't forget to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new information and new updates as they come out. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day so we can bring you all the information in a quick, concise video. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up button or the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. Okay, first up, the stock market is crashing this morning, having dropped almost 800 points in just the first half of the day. And we have now seen about 1,500 point drop in the last 3 days regarding the Dow Jones Index. This is almost a 5% drop just in the last couple days, as you can see here on this graph over the last 5 days of the Dow Jones Index. And if we look back at a 1 month drop, we've dropped all the way from a 29,000, over 29,000 to under 27,000. We're at 26,800 right now. This is a significant drop. It's over 10%, which is considered a correction in the stock market. That means people have lost 10% of their value of their 401ks and their stock holdings in just a few weeks. Now, this is still well off the low that we had on March 23rd when the pandemic came crashing down and everybody panicked. We basically went from a high of 29,000, over 29,000, almost 30,000, down all the way to 19,000. That was one of the largest drops in history, and it happened very quick. We've now gone back from 29,000 again, down to 26,800. Now, as bad as this is for people's 401ks or stock holdings or their retirement funds, this is actually good news for the stimulus check world, because when the stock market came crashing down in March, the first thing the Fed did and Congress did is jump to bail them out and to save the economy. And that is one of the main factors that has propelled our stock market rise, as we just seen, actually a historic rise, coming back down from back up from 19,000 all the way back up to 29,000. That's a huge rise of 10,000 points. That's almost a 50% gain from 19,000 to 29,000. And without the stimulus that the Fed and the government pumped into the economy, we would have probably never seen that gain at all, being as how this is the worst pandemic that we've had pretty much in your entire life. Definitely in my entire life. And I'm turning 40 in February. So, I mean, never in my life can I remember anything like this happening. And it's just 2020 has just been one of those years. So with as crazy as this year is, if you're rooting for more stimulus checks or more unemployment extension, the stock market dropping and dropping dramatically is actually a very good thing for you, because when Congress and the White House and the Fed sees the stock market dropping, they go, oh no, we must help out the economy. We must pump more money into the system. They do that in the form of stimulus checks, unemployment extension. The Fed buys bonds. The Fed lowers interest rates, although it's debatable if they can do that anymore. And they pump more money into the system. And that's also what we're likely going to have to see happen to the airlines. The airlines have jumped in the line with the American people, and they've jumped right to the front of the line, which is where most American people have been waiting for their stimulus check. And they're now saying that if they don't get a stimulus package or a stimulus bailout by basically next week, that they could collapse the entire airline industry, because the airlines are down by 85% right now, and their bailout money is running out. and they have until October 1st. If they don't get more money by October 1st, they're going to lay off hundreds of thousands of workers across the entire airlines. And this brings a brand new sense of urgency that if Congress doesn't pass more stimulus right now, this week, and maybe a few days of next week, to get it passed before October 31st, the airlines are going to lay off hundreds of thousands of workers across the United States, and the airline industry could collapse. Now, the airline industry has actually been deemed a matter of national security during this pandemic because if people can't fly, if they can't go somewhere, if the airline industry does collapse, that takes us back to the 1800s where you couldn't just jump on a plane and go to LA or go to New York or go see somebody for a business meeting. So the airlines are actually a very important part of our country, and they actually might be your newest best friend to get you another stimulus check because they have lobbyists, they have lawyers, they have people that are, lobbying to get more stimulus for them. And if they do that, they're going to have to lump that in a stimulus package, which will likely include stimulus checks and an unemployment extension update. And remember, Congress has to do that by this week. There are a few days next week before the month ends, but they basically have to do that by this week or the beginning of next week, or we could literally see the airlines collapse. And if that happens, a lot of other industries are related. We have the restaurant industry, we have the hotel industry, anything travel related, any cities or states that are based on travel related industries and make money off travel, tourist industry. We're going to see a system-wide collapse here, and you can bet your bottom dollar that if that happens, the stock market will plummet. We will see historic drops like we've seen back in March of nearly drops of 1,500 or 2,000 points per day dropping. And if that happens, as bad as that is, because people lose money in their 401ks, their retirement funds, and businesses go out of business, people lose their jobs when stuff like that's happening. The only good thing about that is more stimulus will be on the way. When the government sees the stock market and industries collapsing and stuff just dropping in a hurry, they all of a sudden realize that they need to pass stuff very quickly, and they need to do this before next week to prevent the airline collapse and hundreds of thousands of people from losing their jobs. Well, you guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Who would have thought that the airlines would become the new best friend of the American people and help us to get another stimulus check and an unemployment extension before the election? I know I didn't. It just kind of came out of the blue. I guess if you were really paying attention months ago, you would have known this, but it pretty much fell out of everybody's minds because the airlines weren't begging for more stimulus. And all of a sudden now they're like, hey, remember us? We need more stimulus and we need it like right now, or else we're going to go out of business and there's going to be a domino effect and the stock market's going to crash and hundreds of thousands of people are going to lose their jobs. So yeah, remember us? We need billions of dollars more in stimulus. Can you help us out? Can you help us out? Oh, and by the way, it's being largely reported here. I'll show you. The root causes of the recent stock market drop is U.S. large caps, which is the largest companies in America's recent weakness in real-time economic indicators and the lack of movement on a fiscal stimulus package. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, Nancy Pelosi is threatening another impeachment of President Donald Trump over the Supreme Court justice seat. Nancy Pelosi joined news host George Stephanopoulos discussing the practical options for preventing another Donald Trump appointee for the Supreme Court justice from getting a lifetime position on the Supreme Court. The news host noted some have mentioned the possibility if they try to push through a nominee in a lame duck session that you and the House can move to impeach President Donald Trump or Attorney General Barr as a way of stalling and preventing the Senate from acting on this nomination. Nancy Pelosi answered, we have our options. She says, we have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss right now, but the fact is we have a big challenge in our country. The president has threatened to not even accept the results of the election with statements that he and his henchmen have made. So right now, our main goal, and I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg would want that to be, would be to protect the integrity of the election as we protect the American people from the virus. So the question is, would Nancy Pelosi try to impeach President Donald Trump again for the second time as a way to stall the Republicans getting another seat on the Supreme Court justice out of the 9 seats? This would now give them 6 seats instead of 5 and give them an overwhelming majority of Republicans on the Supreme Court justice if this were to happen. Now, you guys can let me know your thoughts down below on Nancy Pelosi and this strategy. Do you think it's a little crazy? Or do you think it's good strategy for the Democrats to do this to prevent a lifelong seat of another Republican on the Supreme Court justice? This would be the 3rd justice in just 3 or 3.5 years that President Donald Trump would have already had to appoint. Now, in all fairness, I must say that the Republicans did pretty much do this themselves, not through an impeachment, but through Mitch McConnell preventing another vote. Let me show you. Mitch McConnell actually prevented a Supreme Court justice from being appointed during President Obama's last year of being president. As you can see here, let's get the rules out of the way first. The Senate can fill the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the Supreme Court as soon as President Trump nominates somebody. There's nothing in the Constitution that prevents a Supreme Court vacancy from being filled, regardless of how close to an election it is. Precedent in such a situation is different. Until Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, blocked President Obama's 2016 pick 8 months before the election. This hadn't been done very often. McConnell was forging his own path for obvious political reason. It was a gamble that worked. President Donald Trump won the election, and Republicans kept control of the Senate, and they have since filled 2 more Supreme Court vacancies. So, a Supreme Court justice has to basically be nominated by a president and then elected in the Senate. Well, President Obama nominated a justice, but the Senate didn't vote on it. They didn't pass it because it was controlled by the Republicans. So basically, Mitch McConnell's gamble was that he would basically just not appoint a new justice because the Republicans controlled the Senate, and they knew that a new presidential election was up 8 months later. Yeah, that's a long time. Well, that's exactly what Mitch McConnell and the Republicans did. They basically waited 8 months to vote on or reelect a new justice, and President Donald Trump won, so the presidency turned from Democrat to Republican, and then they appointed a new Supreme Court justice because President Donald Trump's a Republican and the Senate still was controlled by Republicans, and they only need a simple majority, not a filibuster rule of 60 in the Senate. They only need 51 votes in the Senate to approve a Supreme Court justice. So the Republicans did do this before, and now they're trying to push another one through before the election. And I mean, I think it's going to be hard for the Democrats to stop them from doing this because the president can just nominate somebody and they can vote on it in a few days and it's done. So short of Nancy Pelosi trying something like trying to impeach the president right before the election, whew, wouldn't that be a hot one? I don't know, but we're going to have a lot of news for this week. And I got more stimulus news coming out for you in the next video that will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're subscribed. You can click the bell icon if you want to get notifications when we go live. We typically go live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you guys updated as more information comes out. And don't forget to hit the like button for me down below. You can click on these videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.